So now that you've got a little handle on things that if you've seen or been through tutorial one, let's head on over to the second tutorial. So just head on over to tutorials, go to robot wiring. Gotta love that zooming in, that arrival sound. It's really loud. Okay, so robot wiring. The robots in the Robotropolis sewer are pre-wired to work for you. In the subway and higher levels of Robotropolis, you need to change the wiring. And so as I've said before, the sewer is the first level and the subway is the second level. So here you will find out how to wire a robot. The wiring inside a robot makes it move, pick up objects, and send signals. The wiring is called a circuit. To create a circuit in a robot, you solder the wires to the inputs and outputs of various robot parts. This is an input. Go inside scanner and look at all the inputs. You will see them on the 4 thrusters, the grabber control, and the antenna control. So, this is an input for the thruster that pushes upwards, which makes the robot go down. This is input for the thruster that goes to the outputs to the right, which means it pushes the robot to the left. Here is the one on the right here is the input for the grabber, the thing that makes it grab stuff. And this one is, on the right of this is the input for the antenna, and so on. So let's take a scanner with us. This is an output. Inside the robot, you will see outputs on the grabber control, the 4 bumpers, and the antenna control. When a robot part is activated, electricity flows out of its output. Move the scanner so one bumper just touches the wall. Be sure the remote control is on. The robot squawks and the outside bumper turns orange. See? So the left part of the robot touches the wall, so the left bumper turns orange. Go inside and take a look at the output for that bumper. It is also orange. Electricity is flowing out of its output. So as you can see here, this is the bumper output, which means so when the left bumper is touching something, this one is activated. And you can see that it's activated because it's orange. The other bumpers on the left and up and down are not touching anything, so they are white. So leave scanner here. The soldering iron is used to wire outputs to inputs. Press this person icon to become the soldering iron. Alternatively, tap 4 fingers to toggle between the cursor and the soldering iron. So this over here is the person icon that you can toggle back and forth, or you can use 4 fingers to toggle back and forth. So when you use 4 fingers, it also brings up the magnifying glass like it does when you use 3 fingers, and that as I mentioned in the previous video, that was actually a bug because when I implemented this, it wasn't actually intentional. But I really like it because normally when you're a person and you want to become the soldering iron, the first thing you want to do is very precisely choose a spot to start soldering. So rather than having to 4 tap then 3 tap, you can just 4 tap and keep holding the fingers down and pick the specific thing that you want to actually position over. So move the soldering iron to the input until the tip glows orange. It's over here, so you can see that the tip of the soldering iron is orange now. See, normally it's like a copper color, and when it's over the top of something that it can start wiring from, it will orange. It's green when it's something where you would delete a wire. So if you go over here, when it's orange again because you can solder from or to. So this is where you actually start wiring, and it's green when you want to remove a wire. So it's actually a red color. It's not orange. It says it's orange, but it's actually more red. So tap 2 fingers to begin soldering. Move the soldering iron to the output. A wire will follow you. When the tip glows orange, tap 2 fingers to connect the wire. So that's what we did. It's easy to disconnect a wire. Move the tip of the soldering iron to either the input or output. Tap the 2 fingers when the tip glows green. So as you can see here, it's a little tough to get it precise sometimes. That's why we have the magnifying glass. So easy to position precisely with a magnifying glass, and it glows green, which means if we tap with 2 fingers, boom, we got removes the wire. Now you are ready to create a circuit in a robot. Tap the person icon or tap 4 fingers to use the cursor again. So tap 4 fingers or hit the person icon and we become the person again. Take Sparky with you through the next few rooms to make a wall-hugging robot. You have to become a person because you cannot solder when you're a person and you can't pick up stuff when you're soldering iron. Tap the person icon or tap 4 fingers to use the soldering iron again. It does that apparently, I didn't even know that. I hadn't tried that before. It actually auto drops. So we were carrying it, but by switching it, it automatically dropped the thing. So go inside Sparky and connect the left thruster, marked A, to the bottom bumper, marked B. Be sure the remote control and thruster switch are on. So we want to connect A to B. So we got A over here. It's position there. And then we want to connect it to B. So there we go. A connected to B. Ooh. Place Sparky next to the bottom wall so its bumper just touches the wall. When the bumper touches the wall, electricity flows from the bumper to the thruster, propelling the robot. So as you can see, we're holding on to it so it can't move, but you can see that thrust is coming out of the left. So because we connected the bottom bumper to the left thruster, it activates the left thruster when the bottom bumper is touched. When the left thruster is on, Sparky moves to the right. The thruster pushes the robot in the opposite direction. What will happen when the right thruster is on? This is a great puzzle, but I think you can guess that when the right thruster is on, it will move left. Sparky stops at the right wall. To make Sparky move up, apparently we were supposed to just let it move. I don't know. Oh, we didn't have it touch anything. It can't move if you let it go too far into the wall. It just gets stuck. So that's why that happened. So yeah, it'll keep going. Boom, it stops. All right, so Sparky stops at the right wall. To make Sparky move up, connect a wire between the bottom thruster C and the right bumper D. Now, since Sparky is touching the right wall, electricity flows into the bottom thruster and Sparky moves up. So we want to connect C to D. Head on over here. Doesn't matter whether you start on one side or the other. And head on over there. And there we go. The wire between C and D is hard to see. Move the soldering iron over the input or output until the tip turns green. Tap the wire flip icon, the square with arrows pointing at the corners. This will flip the wire so it will be easier to see. So what we're talking about here is actually these wires seem perfectly fine to me, but here you see you move the thing over here, and if you tap with 2 fingers, it will remove the wire. But we don't want to remove the wire, we want to flip it. So that's this icon over here. You can you position the thing over either one of the connectors, and when it's green, and you can just flip it to your heart's content. So that's just so you can when you have a lot of wires on screen, that becomes pretty important. So let's now go back inside Sparky and connect E to F and H to G. Put Sparky in the small chamber so one bumper touches a wall and watch it go. So it says E to F and H to G. So we want to go over here, E to F. I usually Hail Mary tap and see if it will work, and sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. And then if it doesn't, then I just position with the magnifying glass. H to G. So E to F and G to H. Put Smarky in the small. All right, so it should go right around in a circle. You have just created your first robot circuit, a counterclockwise robot. Sparky moves counterclockwise. Can you rewire it to go clockwise instead? Leave Sparky here when you are done. So they want us to wire it clockwise. So the solution is over the right, but I think we can probably figure it out. So what that means to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise is that now when you touch the top bumper, that means you hit the top. And if you're going counterclockwise, that means you want to go left. But instead, we want to go the other direction. So it's basically just flipping which thruster each of the bumpers is connected to. So let's go ahead and remove all the wires. Okay, so instead of the one that's right adjacent to it, we want the one that's further away. So when we're at the top, when we hit something on top, we want to actually go right in order to go clockwise. Oops, yeah, I keep doing that. We want the thruster, not the bumper. So that's that bumper. So instead of going up, we want to go down. So instead, this one was going left, so it's yeah, this one was going pushing us to the right, so now we want to be pushed to the left. So yeah, that's correct. And then lastly, and so you just do show the flipping thing again. So so if we activate it, oh, we have to actually, this one is wired up so that it has to be touching a wall first. It can't figure it out otherwise. There are other bots that have it so that does it. So if it's set up, oh, there we go. And one more. Yep, it got all four directions, so apparently we did it right. So we wired it up to be correctly go clockwise. To make it clockwise, go, yeah, well, I assume that's what we must have done. A to F, D to G, E to B, and H to C. And so robot can signal other robots with their antennas. Connect a wire from the from checker's left bumper A to its antenna input B. So we wire A to B. So A to B. So what this means is that if the left bumper is touching something, then that will activate the antenna to signal to other robots. So that means, hey, I just touched my left bumper just touched something. So let's head on over, take checkers with you. All right, take the shortcut and bring back scanner. Connect a wire from scanner's antenna output to one of its thrusters. Now bump checkers into the wall on the left and watch scanner move. Put scanner on the X and take checkers with you. So first let's go over and take the shortcut and grab scanner. All right, so we want to connect the wire from scanner's antenna output to one of its thrusters. So if we connect the antenna output, which is right there, to the thruster on the left, I did it again. Yes, the thruster on the left. then what that means is that when the antenna activates, it will go to the right. So, and as you recall, this one's antenna activates when the left bumper is touching something, as I recall. Yep. So if we move this one over here, and just a little bit over, there we go. Very loudly, the left bumper is activating. Oh, let's go inside and see what's wrong. Oh yes, it didn't do anything because we didn't activate the power switch. So let's activate the power switch, and there we go. Yes, isn't that a wonderful sound? It's heading right. Let's disable that because the sound, man, the sound in this, I really need to get some less annoying sounds. Jeez. All right, so take the shortcut and okay. So now bump checkers into the wall. Okay, so now we want to take checkers with us. An antenna signal is transmitted to all robots at once, even if they aren't in the same room. Bump checkers into the left wall again, and so the antenna beeps. And then look into the previous room. Scanner should no longer be in the X. So there we go. It's doing that. And you see it's moving to the right. Doesn't matter that we're in a different room. It's global. Or it's global per level. Nothing on level 1 communicates with level 2 and so on. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about bringing it with us. So robot radios have only one channel. That means that if all the robots try to send signals at once, only one robot signal gets through. Now you know the basics of wiring circuits in robots. Before returning to Robotropolis, we suggest you learn how to use sensors and parts from the toolkit to make some useful robot circuits. So it's just saying that you should head on over to learn about robot wiring. So yes, in the next video, we will learn about robot wiring.